Good morning for the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Sunday, August 14th. Today will be one final day of some monsoon moisture impacts with some isolated to scattered thunderstorms, predominantly across eastern Idaho with hot and dry conditions. So much across western Idaho today will be very warm and dry, with those conditions continuing through Thursday, with some monsoon moisture arriving later next week. And I'll be breaking that down for you this morning. Key parts we're going to focus on today. Do have one final more day of monsoonal moisture. What that means is isolated to scattered thunderstorms will shift further east, with those isolated stronger thunderstorms producing moderate to heavy rain and gusty winds in excess of 35 miles an hour and small hail. We saw widespread thunderstorm coverage, especially across the mountainous regions and upper Snake Plain yesterday. Expecting more limited coverage today, but certainly as you get down towards the Utah border, looking like a pretty active day down towards there. Looking at some patchy morning fog developing today and tomorrow, with that increased precipitation in the region and some clearing skies, could lead to some limited visibility and hazardous travel conditions concerns. West Yellowstone currently this morning is reporting visibility less than a quarter mile as of 4 a.m. So certainly something to keep in mind over the next couple of days before things dry out, especially in areas that received abundant precipitation. Dry conditions are going to continue through Thursday with increasingly warm temperatures courtesy of a high-pressure ridge developing. We'll have storms further south and east down towards Nevada, Utah, and Wyoming, but monsoon moisture does return around that Thursday-Friday timeframe. Taking a look at satellite this morning, mostly clear skies across western Idaho and much of the western United States. As you can see, that monsoonal moisture is going to be shifting further east, so that axis will bring us at least a chance for some showers, turning along the Montana border, Utah border, and Wyoming border regions throughout the day, and maybe some eastern Snake Plain action. But as you get towards central and western Idaho, it'll be a mostly dry and overall pretty pleasant day. This is a look at how we can tell some of the fog. So that fog is going to be shown here in the green on the nighttime microphysics, and you can see some of that developing underneath some of this cloud cover. That's going to be probably our biggest limiter, but as that kind of breaks up, especially as we get towards the morning hours, could see some fog up towards the eastern Highlands, upper Snake Plain, kind of where we're seeing that up in West Yellowstone this morning. Weather risk outlook today, so mainly just patchy morning fog where we had some areas of precipitation yesterday with some isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms. The southeast and eastern Highlands do stand the best chance to see some more scattered coverage, and with the potential for some stronger thunderstorms, do have them at a minor risk for today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, increasingly warm and dry conditions, so fire weather concerns are going to be the very low relative humidities. Not a whole lot of wind to talk through outside of thunderstorms today, but the isolated showers and storms with some increasing wind as we get towards the later part of this week, but looking at a fairly dry and overall pretty pleasant start to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Taking a look at yesterday, so we had a flooding event up in Ashton, so upwards of 2 to 4 inches fell in about 60 minutes. So we're looking, at hourly totals here on the left. So you can see rainfall estimates, as you can see the purple there, approaching 4 inches as you get down towards the Warm River and Squirrel area, down towards that area northeast of Drummond. And as you can see, some of the pictures here shared from the emergency manager does show some, flooding over roadways, inundation of low-lying areas. So certainly a flooding concern up there as the floodwaters are receding, but certainly something to keep in mind if we do get any more storms trading across that area and other areas where we saw widespread precipitation impacts. Very localized heavy amounts could lead to additional runoff concerns with the soils being very saturated. Taking a look at the broader picture, southeast Idaho rainfall. So as you can see, the big area of rainfall across the upper Snake Plain, eastern central mountains, and along the Utah border. So not a whole lot. Pocatello, Blackfoot, Idaho Falls. Certainly saw the storms yesterday, but not a whole lot of impacts along the I-15 corridor. But as you get further northeast, some bullseyes start to stick out up towards Ashton. Again, that 2 to 4 inches fell in about an hour. So plenty of lightning, a small hail, and inundation of low-lying areas and flooding were some of those concerns, especially further southwest as well. You can see some of those 2 to 4 inch bullseyes with some of those stronger storms. Taking a look at max gusts and lightning for yesterday. So we saw wind gusts in excess about 40 to 50 miles an hour across the upper Snake Plain, Lemhi Valley. And, talking over 1,000 strikes yesterday, we doubled that today. So over 2,000 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes were observed yesterday in and around southeast Idaho. And as you can see, these concentrations here, especially INL northeast, Ashton is almost completely covered with lightning coverage as far as, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, indicative of a very strong supercell thunderstorm. And as you trend further south as well, you can see some more strong activity further southwest, but as you get further west out towards like Stanley, Chalice, Sun Valley area, things stayed fairly quiet. And regional, over the past couple of days, we've received over 3,000 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in the last 48 hours. So certainly a fire weather concern, but given a lot of rainfall going down with these events with the lightning, hopefully that'll be quelling a lot of those fears. Severe weather outlook for today. So we're looking at isolated to scattered thunderstorms predominantly east of Sun Valley, Twin Falls, US 93 corridor, and not expecting a whole lot in the Magic Valley, but especially down as you get towards the South Hills, Southeast Highlands, up along our border regions today will be a very active afternoon. Given that monsoonal moisture shifting further east, not going to be a whole lot of impacts further west, but one final day of some potentially strong afternoon thunderstorms, especially as you get into the mountains. For Monday, storm sets is going to be shifting further east, so mostly going to be contained up towards the Montana Wyoming border areas. Maybe just a slight chance down towards Bear Lake and up towards the Island Park Basin, but again, very limited coverage. For Tuesday, going to be well out of the area. Monsoon moisture will be trapped further southwest as we get abundantly warm air advected north, so we'll be seeing at least very dry and warm conditions as we get towards Tuesday and Wednesday, with no thunderstorm threat until around that Thursday-Friday time frame. We are in an excessive rainfall outlook for portions of southeast Idaho. As you get down towards the southeast today, I do have an excessive rainfall outlook there with just a marginal risk for exceeding some of the flash flood guidelines set that area. But, we could see those storms again potentially along the, up through the eastern highlands, down along the border regions. Looking at strongest storms, especially as you get out towards the upper Snake, eastern highlands, and surrounding higher terrain south and east of the Snake River Plain. Now let's break down the timing for you today. So we're right around noontime. There are some showers ongoing down as further, south into Utah, and those will be kind of working up throughout the morning hours. But as we break down for the timing for today, things will be as far as increasing in coverage as we get towards later part. It's about 12 to 2 o'clock, starting to see convection kicking off. And as those storms track out into some of our lower elevation areas, could see that potential for some gusty winds, small hail, and very moderate brief to heavy rainfall. So certainly something to keep in mind this afternoon. Pretty good active weather day across much of eastern Idaho, and especially as you get into Wyoming and northern Utah. So as those storms continue to track off here, you can see another active day, especially along our border regions where some of these cells here, forecasted to bring some brief, moderate to heavy rainfall. Could lead to some localized low-lying flooding concerns. And again, frequent lightning is being observed with these supercells over the past couple of days with not much changing in the environment today. As we get towards 7, 8, 9 o'clock, you'd see those storms tracking further east, and as we get towards sunset, things should be mostly out of the area, outside of some patchy, isolated showers I'm working through, but it looks like, just another morning of potential fog where some of that heavy rain will fall, increasing the relative humidities, but outside of that, it looks like a fairly quiet Monday through Wednesday of next week. High temperatures today, overall pretty pleasant in the low 80s to mid 90s. We'll be keeping with that trend over the next couple of days. Not a whole lot of forcing to get those temperatures much different, but as we get towards Wednesday is looking like probably going to be the warmest day of the week as temperatures are going to be in the mid 80s to near 100 degrees across portions of western Idaho. For your Monday, not a whole lot of change, maybe just by a degree or two in the Snake Plain, but temperatures again about the mid 80s to mid 90s for your Monday afternoon. Tuesday, keeping with the high and dry trend, we will have temperatures again slightly creeping up, degree or two in some places, but mid 80s to mid 90s, approaching that 100-degree mark as you get west of Jerome, Twin Falls, Shoshone. But it looks like down here in southeast Idaho, we will just be in the mid 80s to mid 90s, slightly above normal for this time of year, but certainly nothing out of the blue. And on Wednesday, so this is probably going to be one of the warmest days of the week, day before the monsoon moisture. So I have a high-pressure ridge set up right overhead. And what that means is it's going to be the warmest day of the week, most likely with widespread highs in the mid-80s to near 100 degrees as you get further south and west. And for Thursday, here's an indicative of that cooling trend. So as we get that monsoon moisture back here, we'll have the increased cloud cover, some more northerly flow as far as keeping the temperatures down just slightly a little bit for your Thursday and Friday, with overall near normal temperatures for the remainder of the week. Look at what's to come. So we do have above normal chances for precipitation favorite the 6 to 10 day outlook across portions of southeast Idaho. As you can see that bullseye down there in the southwest, monsoon moisture will be pooling, especially down here in the Four Corners region throughout the coming week. And as that kind of spills over into our region, we do have the chance again for some above normal precipitation, but above normal temperatures will be with us. As you can see that heat dome establishing across the Pacific Northwest. Going to be seeing some heat advisories, excessive heat warnings possibly in effect across portions of eastern Oregon, Washington, and northern Idaho. So certainly a little bit warmer up there, but we still are favored to be above normal down here in southeast Idaho. 8 to 14, not a whole lot's changed. See that increasingly dry trend, especially across portions of northern Idaho. But again, that bullseye for that warm temperatures doesn't really move a whole lot. So southern half of the country should be below normal, but as you get much northern and eastern parts of the CONUS, should be staying above normal for this time of year. In summer this morning, do that final day of some monsoon moisture. Be on the lookout for some isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms, with again the biggest threat across our highlands south and east of the Snake Plain and up towards the Continental Divide as you get towards the upper Snake Plain. Looking at those isolated strong thunderstorms, we'll be able to produce some moderate to heavy rain, gusty winds in excess of 35 miles an hour with some small hail. And we're also monitoring some patchy fog this morning. Had lots of precipitation out there, helping to increase humidities, and that could lead to some limited visibility and hazardous travel conditions. Conditions will remain dry through Thursday. We have some increasingly warm weather courtesy of a high-pressure ridge as storm chances shift further south and east, with monsoon moisture arriving for the later part of this week. But that wraps up your weather briefing for today, Sunday, August 14th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome Sunday.